Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my Halloween Decorate With Me. I hope that you got to see part 1. If not, I'll link it below for you in the comments. But today we're going to be focusing on our entryway, our front bar room, our cocktail room, and I have a really creepy, delicious recipe for you at the end. So we're going to be beginning on our console table here. As you can see, I gave it a nice wipe down just to get everything nice and clean. I'm bringing in my large aged vase here with just a couple of transitional stems. And now I have these two large branch stems that I purchased from Michael's. I think that just adding the two of them mixed in with the greenery gives off a nice creepy feel without going overboard. Now I have this hanging fern. I'll link everything I can for you below in the description box. And I'm bringing in a piece of art here. So I have this gorgeous witch's print frame. You can of course hang this on the wall, but I'm going to try today leaning it on our entryway console table. And I'm going to add in another layer here with this really adorable ghost landscape print. I'm bringing in a couple of my favorite iron taper candle holders. These are from Crate and Barrel. And now I have these skull taper candles. Those are actually the bleeding taper candles. So if you want to add an extra level of creepiness, you can light them and they will actually drip red wax. And now here I have two lanterns, and on the right side, I just placed one a little bit lower. And as you saw on the left side, I raised it up with a tray just to give it a little bit more of a different level and height. And then I draped this creepy cloth around our lampshade here, and I just replaced that lantern there. Bringing in this little skeleton guy, this little tabletop skeleton guy, because nothing says Halloween like a tabletop skeleton. And then I had another one of these hanging ferns, so instead of putting it in a vase, I just added it here around the candlesticks just to give an extra little pop of texture. And I'm going to nestle in this little pumpkin I have. And now I'm adding a couple of finishing touches with these little creepy spiders. To the bottom of the console table, I have these two baskets. I love these woven baskets. They really go with any season. And just to add in a little level of spookiness here, I'm going to add in our white Jack Skellington little plug-in jack-o'-lantern. And to anchor this whole setup on the left-hand side, I have this lantern, this floor lantern that I picked up from Hearth and Hand at Target several years ago. And I love this lantern. I use it for every single season. So for this season, I'm just going to wind this Halloween garland around, and I'm going to nestle in one of those battery operated candles. And now the console table for Halloween is complete. To complete the entryway, I'm going to swap out my wreath here. So if you watched my Halloween DIY projects video, you saw that one of the projects was this creepy Halloween wreath. This was so much fun to make and actually a lot easier than you might think. So I've linked that video for you down below, but I love how those resin skulls turned out and the bats. I think it just makes the perfect entryway for Halloween to our home. Back inside, we're headed to our cocktail room. So I'm going to begin by just cleaning off our cocktail table. I love styling this little cocktail table every season. And I'm going to begin here by bringing in this beautiful pedestal bowl that I picked up from HomeSense. And of course I had to creep it up, so I filled it with my glass eyeball orbs and a bunch of Spanish moss. So I put these out year after year. I think this is my 5th year with these orbs. They are just so cool, but it's the first year that I put it right in our entryway front room. So I'm excited to have them front and center. I'm bringing in my candelabra that I just draped some of that creepy cloth around. And then I'm bringing in some marble coasters because we do use this room a lot, so I want to keep it creepy but functional. And then I finished off this centerpiece display with a little plastic skull. And now I'm lighting my candle to add some Halloween ambiance, and the cocktail table for our front bar room is complete. Now I'm adding some spooky touches to our server. And the first thing I have here is one of my favorite trays. I actually picked it up from the dollar store. It's that apothecary black cat tray. And then I'm adding in this black glass skull bottle that I thrifted with the cork in it. This is also one of my favorite pieces. It's a dragon's eye book, and when you walk past it, when you turn it on, the eye actually opens up and it roars at you. So if you're looking for something that's pretty creepy and fun for when you have guests over, that's definitely a great item. I love entertaining, so I'm sharing a recipe that I usually make when we're entertaining for Halloween, and that is these witch's fingers breadsticks. So I started out with some gluten-free flour. You can use any flour that you like, and I added in some eggs, some garlic powder, some salt and pepper, and a splash of olive oil. I will put the link to this recipe for you, by the way, in my description box. I put it in the food processor until it formed a ball here, and that is how you know that your dough is ready, when you can touch it and it doesn't stick to your finger. I'm adding a little bit of flour down on my clean countertop, and what I'm doing now is I'm just breaking apart that large ball of dough into 12 smaller balls of about equal size. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we're going to be making 12 of these witch's fingers. So as you'll see in just a moment, I'm going to be taking each one and rolling them out to about the size of a finger. So you just roll it in between your palms, and you can use your own finger as kind of like a guide of how long you should make them, but feel free to get as creative as you like. You can make some of them super long, some of them shorter. You can make a whole hand, really just do whatever you please. And then I'm taking this knife here and I'm just making the ridges in the finger to just have it look a little bit more realistic. So I'm doing this with all of these about the same. Again, you can get as creative as you like, but the main thing is that you want to create 12 of these fingers. Once you have those ready, I have some pistachios here. And I've seen people use all sorts of different items for the nail on the witch's finger, but in my opinion, pistachios are the best option because they are slightly green. Some of them are like cracked inside, like that one, and I think that they are just perfect. So I discovered this trick years ago when I wanted another option and I had pistachios in my pantry, and I just love how they turn out. So after you place all of your pistachio halves onto the witch's fingers, you're just going to drizzle them and baste them with a little bit of olive oil, and then you'll pop them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 12 minutes. And once the 12 minutes is up, you just take them out of the oven. You'll see that they crisped up a little bit and the pistachios got even more brown and creepy looking. I think that they turned out absolutely perfect, and they are very easy to make. They don't take a whole lot of time. You can make them a day in advance, and you can even double batch these if you're having a party. I bet this would also work really good if you have like cookies out of these. Like my mom makes these semolina cookies that have sesame seeds on them. I should tell her to make them out of these because at least they'd be sweet. But I personally like the breadsticks because I think that they're such a finger food, no pun intended, but they taste really good when you serve them up with some marinara sauce, and they're just a really excellent party food. I sincerely hope that you loved coming with me today as I decorated my entryway, my front doorway, my cocktail room. I hope that you love all the details, but I would love to hear what you think down below in the comments. And if you did like this video, I'd love it if you give it a big thumbs up because that's a free way to support my channel. I have linked part 1 in my description box along with everything else I can. This is part 2 and I will have one more installment of my Halloween Decorate With Me, so be on the lookout for part 3. Thank you guys again so much for being here. I so appreciate you all being here and I will see you next time. Take care.